HTML, aka Hypertext Markup Language, and CSS, aka Cascading Style Sheets. These two are something very crucial for web dev. Without these, we wouldn't have the structure for websites or the looks. In this video, I will teach you very basic HTML and CSS so you can make your very own website.
Okay, let's go.
We are in VSCode. First thing we do is we create a file, which we call, let's say, index.html. Now, you witness the curse of the empty casket. What I did is called the emit abbreviation. You see, starting with an exclamation mark, we call it tutorial. Let's just dive in what everything is. Doc type HTML, we just literally define what the doc type is. Why is this important? Email tag with the language again. English, obviously, is also very important since we declare that the website is using the language English. The head. The head is something we won't see on our website, which contains stuff like the character set, viewport, something you will touch, body. The body is something very crucial. This is the content of the website. Hello, world. And there's an extension for VSCode which is called Live Server. Why is this important? You can just click here, and boom. Also very important to turn off dark mode because no, we turn it back on because it's so nice starting to already my eyes. But yeah, see here. Oh no, you can talk to me now. This is your local IP address. Also equivalent to this is localhost. Start with the h1 tag for world again, and you will notice one thing: bigger. H1 goes to H2, which goes to, if I remember correctly, to H6. In the website, H1 is like the most important, let's say, type. Mostly you will use H1 to H2, or something, sometimes H1 to H3. Paragraph. Why do we have paragraph? Well, for text. Let's say lorem ipsum. We have text. That's it. You made a website. Well, it's not everything. We can put in images. SRC, which stands for source. Alternative, which says something like, oh, it's an image. Because there's nothing. This is the alternative version in case the image did not load or something did had moved the image. Grab, drag, copy image link. It did not work. Why? Because it has a blob. Image link. There we go. Now we have the actual one. That's it. That's not everything. We can also have a button.
No.
See, a button. Fancy, right? Cool. Wrap stuff with a div container. This element, very crucial in web development, very crucial. This is something you will work with a lot. What now? Now, also, the thing looks ugly as hell. Also, you notice, if I go here, oh, and you can change it anytime you want. Oh, CSS. We call it styles. We just call it. Now, if we try to write something in there, it won't work. Why? Because we have to import it. Link, CSS. Now, something very important, very crucial, classes. Or class names. Let's call this container. Why do we need classes? Of course, you can just div with. You can just say that, of course, but if you have multiple ones, that's not nice. That's not nice, that's not good. That's why you need to have class, which we start with dot container. Neat. Let's use a normal width of 600 pixels. Works about right. put everything in a small silly container. The size of the container changed. But not everything. So what we need to have to do is almighty display flex. Can you notice? Oh no, it's ugly. Flex direction. Oh, what happened? It's smaller now. Cool. Justify content, center, align items. A certain thing is there are certain characters that are not allowed as a class. Something like a dot, which defines, as you see here, class. Thing is, if we use a dot instead, yeah, it's not going to work since it will just declare another class. You might use percent max width. Let's say, yeah, looks better. Preferably, you just want to copy it. Font size, right? Yeah, right. Also, title, class, title, all. Let's give it font size of. What are those yellow bars? And as you noticed, those are margins. What's a margin? What's a padding? Margins and paddings are the spacing inside a container. Well, the padding is inside of a container, and the margin is the outside of the container. This is a margin. That margin to 0. Very neat. Now it has no padding and no margin. Some stuff like H1 tags, paragraph tags, or thinking of the button. Oh, the button has a padding. We will look at the main difference of paddings and margins. Let me demonstrate. It's 5 pixels as well. You will notice something. You notice the container moved. Okay. Cool, right? So let's change the padding to something like 20 pixels. Boom, changed here on the inside, not on the inside, not on the outside. And on the outside, we can say something like 100. And nothing changed in here, just outside. And of course, demonstrated. This is the margin. This is the padding. And the red thing is the border. The border, of course, we can change to something like 100 pixels. The yellow, the margin. The red, the border. And the purple, the padding. The power of CSS, we can change pretty much everything. Class, button, wall. Border, 0, no border. And background, none. And boom. Oh, something you can change as well is the font weight. Yes, the weight. You can make them fat. Let's do the normal text. And there's something you all have. You have 100, 200, 300, to 900, and well, the text versions 900, and you see, boom, it got fatter. Weight 100. Style. We're gonna have italic, fancy. Font family is something very crucial. I bet you don't want this font. I mean, maybe you want it, but I bet you don't want this font on your website. Maybe you want something like Verdana. Verdana is quite good. Yeah, that's different. See something like sans serif a lot. What's sans serif? Well, that's a font present everywhere. That's like the very, very main font. One very crucial thing. Not every font has the same font weight. Let's go to Google Fonts. Boy. And boom. Perfect example. It only has regular 400. But this isn't really a good example since it's... Let's play with the button. By the way, what you can do is enable multiple classes in one element. Let's say we want to do a button reset. Button reset, and we put everything there where we just reset the button. Now we can style the button. What's the border on pixel? White. Wait, forgot solid. White. Hey, a change. Cool. Let's do padding or radius, which is something you will play a lot. 16 pixels. And the font size. Oh, but as you notice, the button doesn't do the thing if you hover over it. Let me get to that. Go to button roll, hover, and we give it hover effects. Let's make the border gray. Cool. Don't forget to set each. You want to click on a button, so we do this. Active. Let's make the border 2 pixels. Let's not make it solid, let's make it dotted. No, why not? No, let's make it blue. Why not? And yes, we can give the border radius to everything, literally. Let's give it to the image. Let's say 360 pixels. Why not? And look, you can give it a min height. A minimum height. Let's say 300. Then it's a circle. I mean, honestly, like this, you don't want to do it like this. Personally, what you want to do is this selector. This asterisk indicates for everything. Let's say we want to remove padding for everything. Padding 0. Not a whole lot changed. Because we changed already. We want to remove the margin for everything. And a whole lot changed. Everything is more tightly together. See? That's about it. Now you're telling me, oh, what about React? No, this is about index. It's about HTML and CSS. Forget React right now. Get to this first. Now you're telling me, oh, how do I get better at it? Well, let's say you want to get better at HTML. What you want to do is go to W3C Markup Validation Service. Or you just have HTML validator. You want to hit it in there, check it, and there's a lot wrong in there. Oh no errors. You can do the same, of course, for CSS, where you just copy it, CSS, check, and should be fine. Another website which I would recommend, not sponsored by the way, both those websites I will put into the description, is wfreeschool.com. Quite neat for literally everything. It has HTML, it has CSS, it has everything, literally what you need and how you need it. There are semantic elements, of course, or tags. Those are, of course, not very basic HTML. Those are, I would say basics, but they're important, really important. There's stuff like main, which is the main part of the website. There's, of course, the header and the footer. What is a header? This is a header. This is, let's say, the main part. This is a footer. There isn't much to talk about it, honestly. There are, of course, tons of more. There are, of course, UL. Oh well. Properly demonstrated. Here. Thanks, Peter.
You're welcome, Jim.
Ordered lists come in multiple ways. Sometimes I see something like this. I mean, prettier reminds me here. Oh, something is wrong. Unexpected closing tag. Yeah, you see, somewhere I forgot to close something. What can just do here? Boom, everything is okay now. Sometimes we have styles like these. Inline styles called. We'll review the width from. This is not really recommended, except you do emails, but that's a whole different story on its own. I hope you somehow enjoyed this chaotic session.